Okay, this is my Pelpro pellet stove. I'm going to show you how to clean the baffles in it. It's a dirty job. I only do it usually once a month. If you were up to it, you could do it more often than that, but once a month's enough for me. But you'll see how dirty it actually gets. If you haven't done your baffles, you're going to find out that you're going to be surprised, maybe shocked how bad they can get. So I've already let the stove cool off. I'm getting ready to do the baffles now. This is what it looks like after it cooled off a few minutes. Normally I'm going to take out the burn pot and I would clean that anyways. The baffles are back there, what I'm touching right now. Those are baffles. There's 3 of them there. See, there's one over there. Then there's another one in the middle. And there's one on the end. They're a little tricky putting the 2 end ones in. You'll see what I mean. So I take out the burn pot, get it out of the way. If I haven't already cleaned that, I will clean that before I put it back in. I just kind of push it off to the side for now. You could clean it now if you wanted to, or just wait till later. If it's not bad, you could actually just put it back in after you're done. You can see this one's not that bad. I just cleaned it maybe an hour or so before I made this video. But those are the baffles, and those are what we're going to take out. That's our main focus on this video, is cleaning them. It's a pretty dusty job, so I also do wear a mask when I'm doing this. The middle baffle you take out first. There's a little tab on the top of it. You just pull it up till it comes loose like that. And you could see the dust and ash coming off of that. The stuff you want to avoid breathing if at all possible. So you get the middle baffle off. Now the end baffle. The 2 end baffles don't have a tab on the top, so you just got to kind of get a grip on it wherever you can. Twist it sideways like this, and they come right out actually. Sometimes you got to fight with them a little bit, but they do come right out. And you can see in the back of the firebox there how dirty it is with soot and ash. It just gets connected and stuck onto the back wall. And these baffles are the same way. They get that all over it too. I usually take the baffles outside where there's a lot of air, and I clean them off with whatever kind of wire brush I have. I have a couple of them, and then I wipe them down with rags too. But look at that mess right there. That is horrible. That's robbing heat from your stove. It's insulating the stove so the heat can't go anywhere. Just stuck right there. And that's the back wall of the firebox. It gets like that in the baffles too, the back side of the baffles. Not so much the front, because I usually wipe those down kind of a daily basis. The front I just brush off. You can see the baffles there on the floor in front of the stove. I just use a pellet bag, put them on the pellet bag, bring it outside, and you'll see what it needs. You just have to use a wire brush and brush it all off, wipe it down with a rag, clean them up. It's usually not too long. It doesn't take too much time. As you can see, I use gloves for this whole project, and I do use a mask too, just to try to keep some of that stuff out of my lungs. I have this flat brush that works pretty well on the baffles, and I also have your standard wire brush that I use too. I use both brushes for inside the firebox and for the baffles. You can see that's pretty dirty. You'll see the dust in a minute. It just becomes airborne instantly. This does kind of make a little mess of your house. I'll speed this up so you don't have to hear the vacuum or watch me clean it all out. It takes a little bit of time to do this. Of course, I've got to speed it up so it looks like this is just an easy project, but look at all the dust. Be aware of that. If you have white stuff in your room where your stove is, you're probably going to get a little bit of dust on it. It takes some time. I mean, I try to get it 100%, but I'm sure that the best I probably do is 90% or 95. I would get it 100% if I could, but it's just almost impossible with what I have. So once that's done, as you can see, it looks much better than it did a minute ago. We'll get that door out of the way. Yeah, you can see it looks much better. The little hole in the left is your exhaust that pulls your smoke out of it. That's something you want to keep clear. Down there you want to keep clear. Anyways, you want to keep those things cleared normally on a day-to-day basis. The cleaner this is, the better it works. And this is something I clean every single day. You need to get the ash out of it if you're using it. This is the baffles. I brought them back in from outside. They're pretty shiny. They'll never be chrome shiny again, but they're shiny and they're clean. That's the important thing. The inside is clean also. Now you can take the fire pit and at this time reassemble it and put it back in if you want to. I'm just doing it this way to show you that it can be done this way, but in reality you'd be just as well to wait until you get the baffles in there and then put this in. It'd just be one less thing in the way. You'd have a little bit more space and might be a little easier to put the baffles in, but you can do it this way. Like I say, if you have a hard time with it, putting the baffles in and take this out, maybe that'll help you. So I'm going to put in the first baffle now, and that's going to be the left side. They have little tabs on them that connect into slots that are in the side of the firebox, and you can see them behind me. This is going to be the first one. It's going to be a little tricky. You'll probably see that it's a little difficult just getting them into the tabs. Also, if you get the wrong one on the wrong side, it's just not going to work for you, and you'll know it. So if it just doesn't work for you, take that one out and try putting it on the other side. Basically, these three baffles only go one way, so you either get them on there right or you won't get them on there right. You can see it's a little bit, so you can see how I kind of twist it around a little bit. I'm going to put a light on there in a second so you could see a little bit better what I'm doing. Just takes patience. They do go back on. So I put the light in there. You can see I'm still kind of messing around with it, trying to get those little slots to line up. And in a second I'll have that in there. You'll know when it's in because it just becomes pretty stable. So I know that's in because it's not moving. So now I'll grab the other one. And obviously the other one will go on the other side for sure. There'll be no doubt about it. But it's still a little tricky putting it in. You've got to twist it just right and get the tabs lined up in the slots and then secure them. Of course, the middle one is going to be the easiest one. There you go. I got that one in there. It wasn't too hard. The middle one has that thing on the top, and it doesn't have any. I don't think that one has any. Yeah, it does have some tabs to line up. A couple of them at least. And the middle one's the easiest one to get in and the easiest one to get out. You can see that slipped right in there. So all three baffles are in there now. They're secure. They're clean in front. They're clean behind. The firebox itself is clean. The fire pit is clean. Everything at this point inside of there is clean. I'm just checking them all, double checking them to make sure they're tight. I've already done the window for the door,